Everyone. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar for today. We're going to be talking about building good nutritional habits and making them stick. My name is Jazzy, and I'm a health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. And we're going to go ahead and get right into all of this. So, what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to start off with some of these healthier habits that we can get going, get rolling, and then we're going to talk about how to make them stick. So the first one, we're going to be going over water habits, eating more fruits and vegetables, practicing mindful eating, the importance of sleep, taking breaks throughout the day, and then we'll wrap it up with making them stick, and then we'll also have time for a Q&A at the end. And as during the presentation, if you have specific questions, you don't want to forget it, you can feel free to drop that in the chat box, and I will go ahead and answer that at the end. So first thing we're going to have to talk about today is drinking more water. So water is super important for us to all be drinking because we're made up a majority of water. Our bodies need water to function optimally. And we also, our joints are lubricated best when we have more water. Our skin feels better when we have more water. So really important to be drinking more water and drinking enough water for us. The goal is to aim about an ounce to a full ounce of water per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 120 pounds, you want to drink 60 to 120 ounces of water daily. And a couple ways we can do this is by eating hydrating foods. So foods like cucumbers, celery, watermelon, things like that will kind of help us to get more water in during the day. So we don't have to drink a full gallon of water. You can get some water through your food choices. The second tip we kind of have here is finding a water bottle that you love. So this is kind of a joke for everyone, but this is my water bottle. This is a gallon and I drink 2 of them a day. So yes, I drink a lot of water, but it's really easy to get the amount of water in because I only have to fill it up one time. So I'm not constantly going to, go fill it up. If you find a water bottle that has a straw, that makes it a little bit easier. So finding a water bottle that you like or just something that's fun for you will kind of make it more of a fun thing to be doing every day. The next thing on here, identifying a cue that will remind you to drink. So different cues could be something like setting a timer every so often to drink water, to, you know, um, pair it, which this next one, they kind of tie together, right? Pairing it with something that you already do. So, wake up, oh, my alarm just went off to get up for the day, I'm going to drink water. Oh, I need to go to bed right now, so I'm going to drink water. Or, oh, this person on TV is drinking water, I'm going to drink water. Or I'm watching a presentation, I just saw a giant water bottle, I'm going to drink water. So things like that. And then, with an already established habit, you can even pair it up with eating, or when you eat, right? You already have that habit of eating, drink some water when you eat. You brush your teeth, drink some water. So there's ways to kind of pair them together to help increase that water intake daily. And the next thing, eating more fruits and vegetables. So we all know we need fruits and vegetables because they contain vitamins and nutrients that are going to be essential for us and our bodies. They protect us from diseases, from ailments, from injuries. So really important to make sure we're eating more fruits and vegetables than we already do. And the first thing we can do is make them convenient. So this could be anything from buying pre-chopped vegetables. I know I tend to do this. Like if I want bell peppers, I do not buy the whole bell peppers. I'll buy the little package of pre-chopped ones because I'm lazy, but it makes it convenient because I'm not going to cut them. But if they're already cut for me, it makes it easy to cook them. The other thing you can do is buy frozen or canned foods. They still have the same amount of nutrients in them. It just makes it a little bit easier. So buying, canned green beans, they might not taste as good as, roasted green beans, but it's still an option there as well for convenience. The next thing we can do is layer in more flavors. So when we're cooking them, using different spices, herbs, different flavors of oil, maybe using coconut oil to add a different flavor versus olive oil. So there's different ways to switch up the way it tastes. And this also can happen from switching up the way that you cook them. So sauteing them is going to taste different versus not blanching them, but steaming them. That's the word I'm looking for. Steamed vegetables versus, roasting them in the oven. So you can make, green beans 3 different ways and they're all going to taste different. So switching up the way you cook them with different flavors, different spices, all of that will help it just be a little bit more fun, taste a little different each time. And the last thing you can do is use them as snacks. So baby carrots, celery, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, little vegetables like that transport really well. So when we're back in the office, which hopefully will be soon, you can always snack on those and put them in a bag for on the go. Even when you're working from home, it's super easy. We just put some baby carrots in a bowl, grab them, start snacking on them. Even, carrots and hummus is a great snack too. So it's another way to get a few more fruits and vegetables, or I guess I only gave vegetable options. You can even eat an apple for a snack for an option on fruit there. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is mindful eating. So, mindful eating is really important because it's going to allow us to really take in that experience, and it will also help us chew our food a little bit better, and that's going to help us digest our food a little bit better. So, being more mindful when we're eating is just going to overall benefit us. And a couple ways we can help ourselves to do this is by scheduling time to eat. I know we're all super busy, and I am notoriously bad at doing this. So, taking time out of your day, blocking off your calendar, and going away from work and sitting down and eating without any distractions. That's going to be the best way to do it. And I know it is so hard to do that, but it will make your eating experience better. You're going to be tasting your food. And just like this next bullet says, taste each bite of your food and pay attention to the texture. What does it taste like? What are you actually eating? And what does it smell like? It just adds to that food experience, and it makes it less of a chore or you're just eating to eat, right? You're going to experience your whole meal, and that's just overall going to be a better mindset to have going into each meal. And it's also important because of this last bullet here is it will help recognize when you are full and when you are hungry. So those hunger and fullness cues can get really you know, we don't necessarily know when we're hungry. We just know it's time to eat, right? Because, oh, it's 12 p.m. I got to eat. Or, if you're stressed and you're like, okay, I got to eat. Or you're tired. Okay, I got to eat. There's all these things happening in our day that will affect our ability to tell when we're hungry or when we're full. So, being mindful when we are eating, we will be able to tell when we're done and, not just eating everything that's on our plate because that's what we've been taught to do. So, mindful eating is a huge practice that we all should be doing. Again, like I said, I struggle with this. It's really hard to do, but it is a really good practice to have. All right, next up, we're talking about sleep. So, sleep is going to be super, super, super important. Our goal is going to be to sleep 7 to 9 hours every night. And that is because we need 4 hours for our brain to recover and 4 hours for our body to recover. So, that sweet spot is going to be 8 hours of sleep. And I know this one is hard too, but setting a sleep schedule, creating a routine, creating good nighttime habits, going to bed and waking up at the same times every day. These are all going to be good things that we can do to help us sleep a little bit better and a little bit more consistently. And we need sleep because it is going to help us strengthen our immune system. Like right now, I know it's a hot topic is immunity. And when we are well rested and our bodies and our brains are able to recover, all of our systems internally are able to recover. And that includes our immune system. So really important to make sure that we're giving our bodies time to recover from the stress we put on it during the day. It also can help us increase athletic performance. I don't know if you guys have ever tried going to the gym when you're really tired and you try and lift something and those 5 pound weights feel like 1,000 pounds, right? So it's really important for sleep in order for our muscles to have time to recover. Again, 4 hours for our body. That's really going to help us here. Um, you know, just get better in the gym. Our muscles are going to feel a little bit better. These next two, improving productivity and problem solving as well as mood, these are great things to have in order for work performance to be improving, right? We don't want to show up to work and not be able to work or not be able to focus because we didn't sleep that well last night or we only got 3 4 hours of sleep. Our brain is not going to be top notch, and it's going to affect the way, not only our work performance but also, our relationships, how we're going to treat our friends, how we're treating our significant others, our parents, our children. It's going to affect all those relationships. So really important here making sure we're getting enough sleep so we can give all we can to everything we need to be giving that day, including giving enough to ourselves as well. And this last bullet, weight management. So a couple things are going to happen. The less sleep you get, chronic undersleeping will set off a slew of hormone releases. And basically, what's going to happen is your cortisol is going to increase, and cortisol, will affect the foods that we crave. So, craving more salty foods, more sugary foods, it's going to, make us want to eat more, and we're going to stress eat because cortisol is that stress hormone. And it's also going to decrease our fullness hormones and increase our hunger hormones. So this will lead to a little bit of overeating. And again, the combination of that with increased cortisol can, we can see scale weights start to go up. We're also going to hold on to a little bit more water. We're going to feel a little bit more bloated. We're just not going to feel that great. And we're not going to want to move. We're not going to want to go to the gym. We're not going to want to work. So it's a slew of bad things that are going to happen here when our hormones are being, messed with a little bit from lack of sleep. So again, 7 to 9 hours, really try and make that happen because it is going to help us in more than one way. All right, next up, taking breaks throughout the day. Again, another thing that I know I'm terrible at. So, this presentation is not only for everyone else out there, it's also for me. It's me talking to myself. But when we're able to take breaks out throughout the day, it's going to help us recharge. Getting away from our computers, right? Our eyes are glued to screens all day. And I know for me, it's either my computer, my phone, or the TV, right? So if we take a break from those three, it's going to help us recharge our batteries, recharge our eyes, like allow us to, get some sunshine, things like that. Help improve job satisfaction, our mental well-being. It'll boost our creativity. Like we need to give our brains time to relax and kind of just zen out, right? And it's also going to allow us time for more healthy habits. So a couple things we can do to ensure that we are taking breaks is just like with our mindful eating, setting a calendar, blocking off our calendar to take a break, setting timers in our phones to get up from our computer, maybe go outside for 10 minutes, take a walk, get some sunshine, go take a walk, get your coffee, something like that. Just taking breaks throughout the day and reminding yourself by blocking off your calendar will help. And another thing you can do is join us for one of our stretch breaks. We do have stretch breaks Monday through Thursday. So that's a good way to get 10 minutes of stretching in. Your body will feel a little bit better. Your brain's going to feel refreshed and you're going to be ready to go for the rest of your work day. So those are kind of a little bit of tips or tricks that we can implement to help ourselves take some time during the workday. And now we're talking about making all of those habits that I just talked about, making them stick. So, what we can do is pick a trigger. So, this can be anything from something that's internal, like, every time you think about, I don't know, let's say we want to go to the gym. So, every time we think about, you know, lifting weights or something, that's going to be our trigger to go work out. Or if we want to drink water, every time we think about how it's going to help our joints or something, picking a trigger internally, that's what that is, or an external trigger, whether it's looking at a picture, or every time you look at your phone, you drink water, setting an alarm on your phone. Those are going to be the triggers that can help us remember that we want to start this new habit. And then we need to find our motivation. So this is either going to be intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. And intrinsically just means it's coming from within. Like you have this deep desire to drink more water because it's going to make you feel better. So you're driven to do that versus an external motivator, which would be like your boss wants you to drink more water. So you're going to try and drink more water. It's something that it's not really coming from within, essentially. And then another thing we're going to do is we're going to pair that new habit with an existing habit. So kind of like I touched on earlier, every time you eat, you drink water. Every time you wake up, brush your teeth, drink water. So pairing it with something that you already do will help you remember. So you have your trigger, your motivation, and you're pairing it. And the more you do those things all together, those repeated behaviors are going to eventually become habits. So the more we do something, the more of a habit it will come. So that's that repeatability. in our habit creation. And this last bullet on the left here, behavior. So that behavior change is going to happen from motivation, our ability to complete our habit, and the trigger all together. So that's kind of where that comes from and how we make that behavior change. And on the right, this is kind of what we want to focus on when we're thinking about making this change and making this habit stick. So it's really important to make sure we're focusing on the process and not the outcome. So what we're going to do, focusing on those small wins, making sure that we know it's going to take time, and the more baby steps we take, those baby steps are going to lead to that bigger goal. So one of my favorite quotes is that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So the more we do these small things, make these small changes, it's going to add up to those big successes down the road. And that's how we make change. The next thing we can do is find a role model. So if you have someone you look up to or someone that does the thing that you want to do, you can, if they're closer enough to you, you can always build a relationship with them. They can help support you, give you a little bit more accountability, but it's also going to help increase that motivation because you can look at them and be like, I want to be there eventually. And that will kind of help with that motivation a little bit. And then this last one, celebrate the journey. Remind yourself why you're doing this every time you complete a small win. Remembering your why and starting with why and what's driving you to do this. That's really going to be, what's going to help you be successful when we're trying to make these changes and make these habits stick. So that is pretty much all I have for today. So does anyone have any questions about anything I went over, or any nutrition questions, any questions in general, feel free, you can drop in the chat, you can unmute yourself, whatever you're most comfortable with. But if anyone has any questions, now is the time. Give it a few seconds. I know I talked a lot during that.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I want to say great presentation. Great job. That was a lot of info. The slides helped a lot, but you did a great job guiding us through all that info.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you found the information useful. I know it's always good to learn something new every day. No, that's what my grandma always taught me. You got to learn something new every day. Well, awesome. If no one has any other questions, I'll go ahead and let you have the time back to the rest of your day. But you can always send me an email or DM either myself, Luis, or Brittany on Slack or Teams. Let us know if you have any questions. You can stay up to date with us on Slack and on SharePoint as well. But thank you all so much for coming and joining me today. I hope you all have a great St. Patrick's Day. Eat some corned beef and cabbage, if that's your thing. If not, I hope you just have a great rest of your Wednesday. And thank you all for joining me today.
Thank you.